I think as a group we felt like consolidation with other practices, hospitals, etc., would be more advantageous for us to help weather the economic complexities of medicine and orthopedics in the next decade.
Bluegrass Orthopaedics was looking to move forward with recruiting. We felt as though we were in a position to garner more market share in our region, and we were looking for a way to be able to recruit aggressively but appropriately, and we're having trouble finding funding without affecting the bottom line.
As we started looking and exploring private equity options, there's some scary stories out there.
There are plenty of bait and switch type tactics that promised one thing, and when ink comes to paper it looks very different. That's not been the case with Growth Orthopedics.
As we met people involved in the organization, grew increasingly comfortable with their promises and their handshakes and just their ability to follow through on the things that were negotiated on the front end. And ultimately it seemed like the economic advantages of joining a private equity group, those were clear.
Growth Orthopedics had a thought process to allow us to maintain our independence, our day-to-day activities with imperceptible impact. We were very concerned that we would or would not be able to maintain our autonomy and have a vote in what is done for the future.
There were really two key parts that we felt would allow us to maintain autonomy. We have a clinical board that allows us to be certain that the doctors are always going to be able to make the right medical decision. But perhaps more importantly was the second bite board. And that's a board that allows us more control going forward to just make sure that we are able to provide the best care for our patients possible by maintaining physician control and autonomy. Since they've purchased us, they've allowed us to bring on 4 new surgeons. They've also helped organize, identify, and figure out how to increase the size of our surgery center from 3 rooms to 8 rooms. And that's something that we could have never done, because not only did they figure it out, they've also figured out how to pay for it, because that's the big fear. You join private equity and you hear horror stories about doctors starting to feel like they've got to fill their surgery books or order more tests in order to hit a certain number, and the last thing we wanted to do was to ever compromise the care for our patients.
What they promised to help us, to partner with us, to improve upon and to deliver as far as patient care, they have followed through. I still see patients, I still care for patients, I still do everything I ever did before, just more efficiently.
My day-to-day life is exactly the same. The better part is when issues come up and there are just so many economic levers that we can pull so we can identify what's the source of an issue, how better to optimize a certain situation. So I think it's going to make us leaner, meaner, more prepared for the next 20 years.